Thanks to my friends over at kicks.com.au, I'm pleased to offer you an incredibly special promo code which you can use to get 10% off all Blu-rays, 4Ks and DVDs store-wide. And even better, it's stackable on top of sale stock too. Just use Dave10 at checkout for the discount to apply. Code expires end of September 2020. Into the Unknown, Making Frozen 2 is Disney Plus's exclusive peek behind the scenes of the biggest animated film of all time, giving an intimate look into the making of one of Walt Disney Animation's films. Before we get into this, if you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, please hit that subscribe button. Also, please hit that like button to help me get this content out there. As always, weigh in down in the comments below, letting me know your own personal thoughts on Frozen 2 or on this little docu-series if you have seen it already. If you'd like to throw me a little extra support for as little as $1 a month, you can support me over on Patreon, where you'll be able to get early access to certain videos as well as other exclusive content. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, you'll probably know a couple of things about me. One is that I'm not a huge fan of the Frozen franchise. I really quite enjoyed the second movie when I saw it, but it's not something that I think I'm going to gravitate towards watching over and over and over again throughout my life. The other thing that you will know is that I am just a huge sucker for any kind of Disney documentary on any kind of facet of the company, whether that be Imagineering or whether that be about people behind the scenes, Walt Disney, whatever. I'm particularly interested in documentaries about the filmmaking, and particularly about the animated filmmaking. The Making of Frozen 2 is essentially a 3.5 to 4 hour docu-film split up as a docu-series, really charting the making of Frozen 2. Now again, I'm not a huge fan of Frozen, so my interest in this was not as a Frozen fan, but as a fan of Disney animation and someone who really loves to study the making of animated films. For me, this was incredibly intriguing to be able to get like a little peek behind the curtain of the process that goes into making one of these computer-generated films. The only kind of really comprehensive making of documentaries that I can think of that have come out of Disney regarding CGI films are stuff like the early Pixar movies, Toy Story. And these are movies that were going back like 20 years. I mean, it's so primitive. Like the production, the workflow, the process of making one of these movies is just so vastly different to anything like 20 years ago. And the process behind this is so vastly different to any of those traditionally animated films that we're so used to seeing like big lavish 2-3 hour documentaries on. This was a revelatory documentary because I've never seen anything like this ever before. This docuseries covers all areas of the film's production, right from the writing and directing team, to the songwriting team, to the production design team, the animators, kind of right down to the guy who writes the lists that tells what shots the animators are working on that week. This is an all-encompassing documentary that really leaves no stone unturned. What completely struck me about this is how collaborative the production of this film was, the making of this film. People from all areas of the company kind of chipping in ideas. You had the writers, the directors trying to tell their story, collaborating like intensely with the songwriters. I'm completely in awe of how involved the two songwriters were on this film in not only writing songs and stuff, but in shaping the story through their words, through their songs, and kind of helping inform the directors and the writers of, well, no, this is the direction we should take with this. And then you got the animation team who are chipping in ideas. They're animating the film in the way that they feel it should be animated, throwing in little bits and pieces of themselves, throwing in their own little like sight gags and stuff like that. And it really reminded me of the way that Walt Disney used to make his films, with just everyone from the studio just chipping in ideas from everywhere to just kind of make the best movie possible. Another thing that really struck me about this is just really how last minute this whole film was. I mean, they're workshopping this movie literally right to the last minute. And the biggest focus is the big musical sequence, Show Yourself. They're making this movie for 3 or 4 years, and they do not crack this musical number until the very, very last minute. And that just completely shocked me. Like, this song almost didn't make it into the film. I mean, it's that insane. Everything in this movie, they're animating. They are still animating and editing this film with days left to premiere the film. I thought it was incredibly brave, incredibly honest, incredibly raw that they actually showed this on a Disney sanctioned documentary. The only time you ever see something so raw as this is when they make like a retrospective thing 20 or 30 years later, like that Waking Sleeping Beauty doco. You never see them touch on something like this, like here and in the now, especially for a movie like this. And this documentary is just made so fantastically. They obviously had roaming cameras just kind of filming everything, and the fact that they've been able to make this so truthfully, so honestly, and so raw is a real testament to the filmmakers, not only of Frozen 2, but of this docu-series as well. Into the Unknown, making Frozen 2 gets the highest of recommendations from me. It's an easy 5 out of 5. This is easily one of the best Disney documentaries I have ever seen, whether that be a series or a film, and I know I will be revisiting this over and over and over again. I gotta say, Disney Plus has felt a little bit lackluster to me so far. Most of their exclusive scripted content just hasn't really worked for me, but they are absolutely excelling with this special interest stuff. This docuseries is another in a long line of fantastic docuseries that have been released by Disney Plus, and I couldn't recommend this highly enough. If you are a fan, not only Walt Disney Animation or of Frozen 2, or just an animation fan who wants to get a peek behind the curtain of a big CG animated film, this is the documentary for you. And at that, guys, I'm gonna throw this over to you out there. I want to know, what are your thoughts on Frozen 2? What are your thoughts on this docu-series if you have seen it? Fire away with those thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, guys, continue to stay safe, continue to stay at home. Until next time, take it easy. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos and you'd like to see more like it in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen, as well as that like button down below for that little extra support. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.